So, guys, we're live now, guys. So, welcome, guys, welcome, guys, welcome, guys. So, we're gonna do some breakdown today for today because it's international break, and finally, the EPL is officially back after so many international breaks, man. I do not want to talk about this international break because, like, too many matches, too many African Cup of Nations, the Nations League, the World Cup qualifiers, the Euro 2020 qualifiers also too. So it's been a hectic, a little bit of tough matches in and out. So, but officially we're back to the EPL. So kind of happy, a little bit, very very happy. So we're gonna talk about Germany. So we discussed about Pep Guardiola's contract situation a little bit. Way forward for Manchester and Manchester City. So we dive a little bit, just a little bit, like talk about the EPL resumption, the Leicester City, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, and West Bromwich Albion, Man United, and Chelsea, Newcastle. So we discussed the EPL return. Also, our last topic, in which people are kind of waiting. We're gonna debate a little bit about Frank, Gerard, and Paul Scholes. So, guys, let's get in. So, firstly, let me come to start first. So, for the Germany national team and Spain, you know, so firstly, my question to you is Jacome Low and Germany Federation themselves. Who do you think is the right manager to take them forward, or what exactly do they need going forward? What is the exactly problem? I know they have a very good attack, but is it I know it's not the players, but is it the federation or the manager himself need to be looked into, or something is going on in that team that need to be verified? What's going on?
So let me go to the manager first. Um, I had a couple of days to think about this, and if I'm being honest, right now, let me see. If I'm being 100% honest right now, um, he needs to go, but who replaces him? The only guy I can see them replacing maybe is Nagelsmann. Is he available though? No. Uh, so the fact that there's not a lot of people available might be the reason why they hold on to him. You know?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
Come back to me.
All right. So, so let me come to Gaher first. So, your take on this German national team, Jacome Low himself, like, what is going with that German national team? What exactly is going on with that team? Like,
Wow, man. Where do I begin? I mean, first of all, I just want to talk a little bit briefly about Spain. I thought that was one of the best performances I have ever seen, like from a national
six
team.
names, six.
They were absolutely amazing. But yeah, just going back to Germany, I've said it for a long time. I think Joachim Löw was really not the right man to take them forward, especially after the 2018 World Cup, which proved to be a disaster. And I thought one of the worst decisions he made was obviously to leave out the likes of Boateng, Hummels, and Müller, because I think these players would still play an integral part to their team. And I honestly don't think that they will get rid of him now, because they're still going to trust him for the Euros. But I think after that result, it's clear to see that Germany won't be heavy contenders to win the Euros. I also wanted to say, moving forward, I think they should be looking at a Hansi Flick, who was obviously their assistant manager for a long time. I think he would be ideal, but the issue is that he's done so well at Bayern Munich that Bayern Munich want to keep him. And then you have other managers like Thomas Tuchel, who could be a possibility because he's not doing that well at PSG. I read also reports on the German national team wanting Jurgen Klopp, but I think that's not going to happen either, because Klopp is obviously his long-term plan is with Liverpool. So I think the likeliest scenario would be for them to replace Löw with Hansi Flick, if that is possible. But I just don't trust them in the Euros, because they've been so poor in this Nations League. Even the first Nations League, they didn't qualify. And in this Nations League, even conceding 3 goals to Switzerland, and now being completely outplayed and outclassed by Spain, just further shows that there's a lot wrong with the German national team.
So going forward now, where do you see the because for me, they're not even my favorite for the Euro 2020, 2021.
No. For me as well, I think I would put them. Do you know what? at the rate they're continuing, I would probably put them in like the top 5, top 6. I mean, you have France, Belgium, Spain, Portugal. I think these are the big 4, if you like, and then you have teams like Italy. I'm really impressed with how Italy are building as well. So I think Germany are in like they're in the mix, but they're not heavy favorites to win the Euros at all for me.
Wow. Like I don't know why they keep putting their Kumla as a manager. I think for me, I will call it political stuff for me. That's why I'm gonna put it. If you look at those
Yeah.
defenders, those midfielders, some of them needs to be like get the hell out of it. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Manania has been world class, but I think in the competition is someone like Ter Stegen of Barcelona. That's kind of a goalkeeper who can put him on his toes.
Yeah, I think the main issue with Germany is their defense. Like they haven't improved that much defensively since Boateng and Hummels were left out. I mean, they've got some decent options in Sula, Jonathan Tah, Koch from Leeds, etc. But they're not. Are they really good enough to win a major tournament for Germany or to even take them further? I don't think so personally. And with Kimmich as well, he was obviously not involved in that defeat, but he's going to be transitioning into midfield most of the time. But for Germany, he's going to have to play at right back.
Wow. That's tough, man. So let me go to offside now. So what's your take on Germany entirely? Giacomo Low, the Germany Federation and everything. Can we call it political or like they're just been bad for the past couple of years? What's going on with them?
Well, hello everyone.
Uh,
The issue of Joachim Low and Germany is one. It's a story that so many of us did not see happening because it seems like they are now a shadow of themselves, and especially when you look at the quality of the players on paper, the quality of players, quality of the manager on paper, they should be doing better than um what they've been doing in recent times. It wasn't against us against Spain, beg your pardon. Since they won the World Cup, they've been neither here nor there. If you remember, the past couple of years or editions, World Cup winners tend to go down. Like, apart from I think Spain after 2000, they won the Euros in 2008, won the World Cup 2010, won Euros 2012, and then after a while they went downhill. Right, even affected them in 2018 World Cup. Right, so usually it seems like the same thing happened with Italy. It's usually a case whereby after the World Cup, it's like players have attained the highest level, the manager inclusive, and usually, just like in club football, you tend to need a rejig. You change things, switch things up, right? Well, Kilo has been with the German team, the German national team, since 2006. They were chasing something, the big gong, the FIFA World Cup. Now, at that point, it was easier to say, okay, this is the target, this is what they're trying to get. They had a fantastic generation of players. For the same period, they were doing well on the continent. So, can you hear me?
yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. Yeah.
That was the same time, Germany, Bayern Munich, I beg your pardon. They were actually doing well. Many of these players were coming. Now, after they won the World Cup, you had old players that you needed to get rid of. Now, they got rid of Matt Hummels, they got rid of Boateng. Manuel Neuer, in my opinion, was another player that should have been dropped. They had a ready-made player, goalkeeper, Ter Stegen, but for maybe political reasons, they left him inside. And one way or the other, it doesn't take away his talent or his ability. But Manuel Neuer is not the same player, it's not the same goalkeeper, that we know him to have been in the past. So for whatever reason, they left him there, including the manager. In my opinion, they should have gotten rid of him. Mutual consent, not necessarily sacking him per se, but maybe let his contract run out or something. Let him have a break. 2006 now is not short. It's been like 14 years, right?
14 years,
since
yeah.
he took over the
14 years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a long time for a national team, especially when they tend to have long breaks here and there. Initially, the aspiration may have been to win the Euros or win a major trophy with the World Cup. They've won the World Cup. You have to change something, and I think that's what has come back to bite them in the backside. They've had now, players are coming up, all that, but you just need to do something different, create a different atmosphere, different hunger in this crop of players. If we're talking about the manager that may replace him, I'm not exactly sure. I think normally would have preferred Jurgen Klopp, but I don't think he's ready to leave there. If you're talking about Flick is, in my opinion, too premature to take over that job. It's still too early. I can't place finger on a manager that would say, okay, this is the right guy to take over the job at the right time, at this particular time. But honestly, I feel they should get rid of him before the Euros. That's my opinion. That's what I have to say about
Okay,
that.
if they get rid of him now, no, I don't think no managers available at the moment. Thomas Tuchel, PSG, Hansi Flick, Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
Nagelsmann, Leipzig. So what's that? Your club is not even living in the next 4 5 years. So it's not even Liverpool. So we're taking over.
Oh well, maybe it doesn't have to be a German. What are the odds? I don't think Germany will ever pick a national team manager that is
I think
no
their team
chance.
manager Oliver Bierhoff came recently and said that they fully support Jurgen Löw. So I imagine he's going to have the Euro 2020 tournament before they make a decision.
You know what I've learned over time? Usually when the guys in the boardroom come out and say they support so and so manager, that's when the manager should be more worried because
Yeah, I
his
agree.
back letter is somewhere around the corner.
I think if there was a ready-made option, like Abdullahi said, that maybe they would have made the decision right now. But I think he's lucky in a sense that there's no ready-made replacement, and I'm sure they would prefer that manager to be German, just to help the dressing room even more.
Yeah.
Let me go to the Yankee now. So what is going on with Germany national team? Can we call this political or like what is the main problem with this team? And this team is good to win Euro 2020. They are very good. But like I keep saying it, Manuel is a world class goalkeeper. I think it needs to be dropped. I keep saying this. Ter Stegen needs to be given chance. That guy is a top two, top three for me and one of the best goalkeeper in the world. So why is he on the bench doing nothing? How I can understand Mananea is like I understand, but this guy needs a competition. At least put him on the bench for 1 or 2 matches. Put it as Stegen. Let's see like how good it can be for the national. We've seen Ter Stegen playing for Barcelona, being a world class goalkeeper. So, but in Germany, what's going on in Germany? What's going on?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in football, we always talk about stability and giving the coach long term so that he can stabilize the team and all that. But then again, there's what you call equilibrium. At that point is where you get to the peak. After that point, no matter how good or experienced you are, there's only one way, and it's down. Joachim Löw is very strong team. He has built the team over the years. At some point, they won the World Cup. They were basically the best team in the world. But after that point, what happened? You, we started seeing the drop. They started coming down. What the bad thing is because they were that good, people who are keen right now is down. It is now that it's showing glaringly that this team has lost everything and they are at the bottom end. Unfortunately, I do not see anything that Joachim Low can impute into this team again. He has given his all. There is nothing he can do. I expected that Germany should have sacked him since the 2008 tournament. At that point in time, he should have gone. Keeping him this extra long was wrong for me. It was a no for me. He has nothing again. You see, another thing that is a disadvantage give into this team again. It's not about the players. Those players can still do well. Yes, we are talk about dropping Neuer, but Neuer is still a world class goalkeeper any day, anytime. Yes, normally he should give Ter Stegen some opportunity, but like I always say, this is the national team. This is not club football. You don't just change a goalkeeper when nothing is wrong with the first choice goalkeeper. You don't just switch. The goalkeeping position is a very, very vital one It's not like the outfield players where you can make substitutions anyhow like that. But coming down to low again, it's glaring. See the way they concede goals. It doesn't matter who plays, whether it's Nicolas, whether it's Rodiger, whether it's whoever is at the defense, they are prone. This it boils down to the manager. This manager has nothing to impute into this team again. So for me, I felt they should have sacked him a very long time ago. Unfortunately, right now, like we said, there is a very low depth of managers in the world right now, and I feel the German side they want a manager from within, because if we say they should look outside, obviously they can still get the former Juventus coach is available. One way or there are still managers out there that they can get. But I feel the German side they want a manager from within. So if you ask me, I would say Hansi Flick is still the best. We're in an era where people are going back
Yeah.
into managers that know the team, that know support from within. So Hansi Flick for me is the best position. He knows the German team. He has worked with them before, and he's in Bayern Munich right now. The fulcrum of the team is still built around the Bayern side, so it will be easier for him to fit into that team than bringing in another manager right now. Unfortunately, between now and when the Euros will start, I don't see them sacking Joachim Low at this point in time. They have to go ordinary from us to start afresh with this team. This team has a whole lot of life to give. They just need a new manager.
Wow. Okay, let me put it this way now. If German national team doesn't perform in the Euro 2020,
Yes?
wow, damn. Because for me, I think Low should have gone after the World Cup. He should have left after the World Cup. I don't even know what he's doing after the World Cup. He should have gone because I think when he hails out Ozil, Matt Hummels, what's called Boateng, this kind of player, when he took them out of the team, I think that is when the problems are beginning to fall off
Thomas
with the
Muller as well.
glaring stuff.
Yeah.
Because yes, this player may not be good for national team, at least they could give you an impact. Look at those defense: Rudiger, Hodge, Nicolas Starr. Those kind of players. Like I can understand. Yes, I didn't really a world class defender. I doubt it. So you playing a football who like I can understand. Okay, want to play maybe an attacking tiki-taka football, but you're conceding goals. What's going on with the team? You're a manager and you're conceding goals in that situation of team. Something is going on with that team if you're considering that kind of goals. So you need a balance. And for me, I don't think like I do not think it will stay after the hero. The position in the table they are playing France, Portugal, Germany, and I think Iceland. I'm not sure.
Hungary.
I'm not really sure. But those
Hungry.
those two teams, France and Portugal, I doubt if they're gonna get 1 point out of that group. I doubt it. With the way they're playing at the moment, I do not see them qualifying for the groups.
Oh, from the
For
group,
the
yeah, it'll be
group stage
tough.
of the
It'll be
Euro.
tough.
I do not see that happen. That's gonna be the problem for Germany. They have so many talented players like Timo, Kai, Tony Cruz, and this kind of player. But look at those defense. So what's going on with those defense? Something has to be fixed. You need the balance between the defense and the attack. He has to be back. If it doesn't balance for me, I think he has to go. He just have to leave. He has to.
I mean, to be fair to Germany, yeah.
So my next
Look,
topic
can you
goes
hear me?
to Liverpool. Let me come to their hand himself.
Hello, can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
know Van Dijk is out for the whole entire season. I know. So
Nah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
okay. Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm talking about Liverpool. Like,
Yeah.
I know 7 players. I think 8 players. Is it 7 or 8 players are out already? So are you
Oh
worried?
man,
Or is
to
it
be honest with you, I've actually lost count, but some of them are fit. Like Robertson is fit now, so
Mhm.
he should be ready.
So apart from Robertson now, so who else is ready for your team for the?
So I'm gonna start with the injured players. Obviously, Gomez is out for a long time. Trent is gonna be out for a few more weeks with a calf injury. Henderson's 50-50. And then you have Reece Williams, the young centre back that we've been using, has a knock. Nico as well. I think we've got several injuries to be honest. Fabinho's coming back to training now. I saw pictures of him today. He's back in training. Same with Thiago, but I don't know if they're going to be ready for this game. To be honest with you.
Wow. So how worried are you for the weekend match? How worried are you?
You know what? Yeah, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried at all because I think we have a
Are
team
you
that's good enough.
serious?
No, I'm very serious. I'm not worried at all because Leicester City at the same
That's
time have
that's some arrogance right there. Yeah.
no.
As in serious
Listen.
arrogance.
Nah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because for two reasons mainly. If you look at Leicester City, they are also without some key players. You know, the likes of Soyuncu, Ndidi. I think they've got even a longer injury list. Fofana might not even play the game. He's doubtful. Castagne, etc. So they've got players out. But obviously, Liverpool are the main talking point because obviously we're the champions. And if injuries happen to us, then people think. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a tough
But
game.
Leicester, what do you have to? Sorry, let me just chip this in. Yeah. What
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
have to remember is that Leicester City have been coping without those players for a while now,
No,
and you
but
guys
you
are
can
not.
say you. The thing is, you can say the same for us as well because people were saying when Van Dijk got injured that our season would fall downhill, but we've been really good
Mhm.
since the Van Dijk
Sorry,
injury. I
can
mean,
you
we've won like
can
5
you
out of
can you hear
7
me?
Sorry.
games and drew
Can
away
you
to
give
Man
us
City.
a rundown of your likely lineup for this weekend?
Oh yeah, sure. I can from what I understand,
Okay.
I think we're gonna go with Alisson in goal. Obviously, he's fit now. Back four is probably gonna be Milner, Matip,
Nah,
Nat
can you
Phillips,
hear
who
me?
I don't rate highly, but I think he probably play Robertson, and then
Oh, okay.
in
Yeah, I can
midfield
hear
we're
you.
gonna
So I'm
have
talking about Liverpool. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
know 7 players. I think 8 players. Is it 7 or 8 players are out already? So
I
are you
think about
worried?
7 or 8 players, but some of them are back in training, and will Robertson will play now, so he's not part of the injury list.
Mhm.
Go on. You
But
are
yeah,
listing your lineup. You are listing your
oh
You're
probable
yeah,
listing
yeah.
your
In
lineup.
lineup.
midfield, yeah,
Continue.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just continue with that. In midfield, I think we're gonna play Genie in the number 6 because Henderson's at that. I don't know if Henderson's gonna play this game, and then we're gonna go with Naby Keita and Curtis Jones, and then up front probably gonna be Jota, Firmino, and Mane. So it's not bad, but if we play the right system, then we can have some joy in that midfield. But it all depends because at the end of the day, Leicester will be a threat to us. There's no doubt about it, especially with Jamie Vardy running in behind. But the only reason why I'm so confident is because we're at home as well. We have a great record at Anfield, and Brendan Rodgers. I think Brendan Rodgers is not gonna try to be expansive in this game. He's gonna play three at the back and try and hit us on the counter attack. So we have to be careful in a sense that if Leicester do take the lead, then it's gonna be very hard for us to come back. But other than that, I think we're still in a good position to do well. It could probably be like a close game.
So you look at that midfield that you just mentioned. When last did three of them play together? Where would the cohesion come from?
You know what? Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, to be fair, we don't normally play with Jones and Keita together. I mean, maybe we did in like one cup game,
Exactly.
but I think we have to go with a three-man midfield because that will allow us to control the game a little bit more better. Because I think Leicester essentially will play like a three at the back, and they're gonna try and hit us because they're not gonna have some of their best players on that pitch. To be fair, so I think you have to like look at it and think to yourself, Leicester will have problems in this game as well because we're still going to have Mane and Jota on the pitch. Obviously, Firmino for me, I would have dropped Firmino in this game if Mo Salah was fit. Mo Salah obviously has the virus, so he's not going to be playing this game. So that's a concern. So I think it's going to be a tricky game. I'm not going to lie to you. When I say I'm not that worried, it's not in an arrogant sense. It's just more in a confident way, like, because I think we've done really well at Anfield, so it's going to be close. But I wouldn't downplay our opportunities that much.
How about some other
Are
of
you
your
confident?
attacking players, Shaqiri, Minamino? You don't mention those guys.
Oh yeah,
You don't think
yeah.
any of them could slot in
No,
there?
Shaqiri's been really good for us, to be honest with you. Like, he's made such a good impact in games when he's come off the bench. I can't say the same for Minamino. I think Minamino's hasn't played for a while now, since that game in the Champions League where he didn't play well. But to be fair, if Shaqiri does start, then I can see a switch in formation to like 4-2-3-1. But personally, I can't see Klopp doing that. I think he's going to go back to 3 in midfield. But we'll have to wait and see. And Origi, I don't think he's been involved that much, so I don't think he's gonna start this game, but maybe off the bench if he's lucky.
So is your confidence coming because of the opposition that you're playing or the strength of your team?
You know what? It's a bit of both, because, of course, when you look at the table, you see Leicester in first place. And don't get me wrong, I rate them highly. They're doing a very good job this season, Rodgers and the team. They've obviously beaten Man City away from home 5-2. Great result. They were good in that game. They beat Leeds 4-1. I thought that was one of their best performances. Yuri Tielemans, I think, is a very, very good midfielder. Man. I like him. He's been very, very good for Belgium as well recently. They beat Arsenal away from home as well, which is a good result. They didn't play well in that game, but they managed to nick that game. Like, it was one move which basically won them that game. One mistake from Mustafi, arguably, but yeah, like you said, going back to your question, I think it's a bit of both, because we're still gonna have players good enough to hurt Leicester City. With Mane, Jota. Don't forget, Jota's been in really good form since he joined the club as well. But it's gonna be very tricky. It just depends on our midfield, honestly, like how we line up in midfield that will decide this game.
So you are going with the 4-3-3 formation, or a
Yeah.
4-2-3-1?
4-3-3, to be honest with you, mate. I have to, because against Man City we played a 4-2-3-1, and even though it worked in the beginning, I thought in the second half we had no control of that game, and we could have easily adjusted. So against Leicester, I think we need the extra man in midfield. In this case, Naby Keita. And the only reason why I said Curtis Jones will start is because if Henderson's available, then it's obviously an easy choice. Henderson does play, but if not, and obviously Thiago's not match fit either, then it will likely be Curtis Jones. So we'll just have to wait and see. I can't wait for this game, honestly.
So let me put this to you now. For the injury pile up coming up, do you think you guys need to go to the market in January to buy a player, or you still want to wait?
Oh man, you know what? To be honest, if we're gonna buy a player in January, it just has to be a centre back. Honestly, that's the one position where we are very, very low on options at the moment, because funny enough, the only centre back that we have fit, the only senior centre back that is fit is Joel Matip, and on a fitness level, you can't rely on Joel Matip. Joel Matip can get injured at any moment. He's hardly played 2-3 games in a row, so I'm not confident that he's going to stay fit for like a couple of weeks or months, let alone a longer period. So we need at least one centre back, because let's face it, our best centre back partnership, Gomez and Van Dijk, they're going to be out for a long time. So it's going to be a very, very difficult season in that aspect.
So who do you go for, or Kabak?
Yeah, I was going to say Kabak would be the cheaper option from Schalke. I don't think he's that good. I think he's still developing. But if we're looking at, a realistic transfer window, then I would say Kabak. But I think if we wanted to be a bit more ambitious, then Upamecano from Leipzig would be a very good signing, because he has a release clause. Apparently, he has a release clause of between 40 to 50 million.
For the 5 million.
Yeah, which is realistic as well if we really wanted to go after him. But again, you know how it is in January. You're not likely to get a top class player in his position in January. But who knows? I think it can happen, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Upamecano, I think it's gonna be unrealistic, but we have to go for him. But if not, then at least what I would want from Liverpool is to at least sign one centre back.
Oh, even he's currently injured. So what are the odds? And also, do you even think Liverpool will be willing to spend half that money? Number one, and then be willing to spend that amount of money.
Yeah, that's
On
that's
Gerard?
actually a very good question. I mean, given the crisis at the back, I would imagine that at least one centre back wouldn't be like bad. I mean, I would expect us to have a short list of at least one centre back. I think two is unrealistic, to be honest with you, because we're still gonna have, like, let's not forget Fabinho can play as a centre back. So, and he's not gonna be. He's probably he's back in training now, essentially. So he's gonna be an option at centre back. You have Matip, Fabinho. Then we have Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, but essentially they're young players. I don't know if we can trust them for the rest of the season. So if we can add one more player in January, a centre back, whether it's Kabak or Upamecano, I'd be happy with that, to be honest.
Wow. So offside. What's your take on Liverpool's injury worries? As a fans, as the rival fans, are you happy? Are you like, okay, I think it's a karma for them. You can't go back to back.
They get that on what team are you talking about? Hello.
I think he was referring to Liverpool. He was asking you the question about
Oh,
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
You want me to be honest? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but you were not like about to say that.
No, go for it. Go
Deep
for it.
down, of course. I'm dancing deep down in my heart. You know, what we just want is for
Yeah.
those ahead of us to wait for us to have certain disadvantages that they actually.
I understand because Chelsea are in the race now. So
Yeah. So,
yeah.
and another thing is, I'm actually impressed by you guys being able to, as much as you guys did without Van Dijk. Remember, I was one of the people that actually predicted that you guys will, really feel that sense a whole lot. But somehow, you guys are not really well, and I'm curious to see how far you guys will go with some other key players also missing in the side. I don't know you guys. I don't think you guys will go that far though. I think you guys will begin to drop points. I'm not saying that from a place of hate. I'm just saying that
Of
because I
course, of
feel.
course. To be fair, it's
I'm
very
saying that.
realistic because I think any team will struggle to cope with the amount of injuries that we have. Even if you're a
Yeah,
team as great as Liverpool, honestly, like it gets to a stage where if it's happening to too many players, then it's obvious you
yeah,
can drop points. Yeah,
yeah. There's also that. There's also the stress of the international break and all that for this same group of players. I think most of your players actually were part of national participated in national team
yeah,
um engagements. So, and now, Premier League does not recognize more than 3 substitutions. I hope we'll have time to talk about all that 3 substitutions, 5 substitutions.
mm,
I want to see the total. You already have a thin squad as it is. I'd like to see, how much that will affect your squad. Um, yeah, deep down, that's it. But then again, it will be intriguing to see.
yeah. Just to add to that point as well, December, obviously, as we know, is going to be a very busy period. You're going to have midweek games, even when the Champions League is finished. The group stage is over, you're still going to have those midweek Premier League games. So if our injury crisis doesn't improve, then I think then we'll be in big trouble. So the next few weeks, I think we will see. But for now, I'm not that worried because I've analyzed it deeply, and I thought to myself, the only 2 long-term injuries we have is Gomez and Van Dijk. So if the others can come back quickly, then I guess we can cope for the rest of the season, especially if we sign a defender in January, which for me right now is a must. We have to get one at least.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I lost connection for a second.
Oh, okay. Going for Niangi. So, what do you think, Liverpool, as a rival fans, do you think the injury crisis is worrying, or do you believe like this is karma? Cannot appeal and like just let it go? So something has to
Oh man, to be honest
fit
with you,
in,
I would be
be like,
lying.
oh, you
To be
like,
fair,
Is what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
would be lying if I said
Because we know those
this
teams
wasn't
who go
concerning.
back to back, the Manchester City and I think Chelsea also and United also, they're very deep squad. But Liverpool doesn't have that deep squad to challenge. So is that a worry for you?
No,
Or are you
of
happy?
course it's a worry. Of course it's a worry when you have the amount of injuries that we've had, but our squad is actually very
Yangi, you
good
there?
right now. I think. Yeah, the thing is with our squad, yeah, is that if this was a couple of seasons ago, I think we would have struggled to cope with it. But right now, we do have the options to get through this period because luckily, most of the injuries that we have, they're not long-term injuries. They're just going to be a couple of weeks or so. So I think Man City obviously have the best squad if you look at the league in general. But obviously, of course, I would be
You
lying if I
there?
said I wasn't worried with the injuries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You guys hear me?
I'm not sure. I think I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me though.
I don't think that can you hear me?
I can hear you guys.
Yep.
I can hear both of
You're
you.
clear. I think I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
So Nyangi, you speaking? Go ahead, go for it.
I'm not sure if he's there.
Hello, can you say?
I
Are you
don't know.
saying something? I can't hear him. I can't hear him though.
Yeah, I can't hear Miyangi as well.
Yangi, yeah.
Well, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yeah,
Abdullahi.
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, Abdullah.
Let me go to outside now. Okay, you have already spoken.
Yeah.
Go on, ask what you have to ask. Well, comes in. Hello, Abdullahi. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. You wanted to ask?
Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
Niang, is that you?
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I think
Yeah, we can hear
let me
you.
just bring about Liverpool. So, like before the video start, I already chose them. What's called as my favorite to win the video. Am I still sticking my heart on them a little bit because of one person, Jurgen Klopp? I trust Klopp a lot because
Wow.
Klopp has improved. Yeah, he has improved that team a lot, and I can even put him ahead of Pep and other team manager because Klopp is building something in that Liverpool, and I respect Klopp a lot.
Building, or he has already built.
Yes, I mean, he has already built that
He
team.
already won the league, won the Champions League. What is he? If at all there's any way to go, in my opinion, it's downwards. Honestly.
Nah, not this season.
I said if at all there's anywhere to go. I don't see them. You know, the Premier League is not a league where maybe a certain team would reign supreme for a couple of seasons. You know, that's not what it is these days.
It's
So
possible
usually-
though. It's possible. We can
Sorry?
do it again.
You guys won't do it.
Well, who will then? I think the only team.
I'm going with offside. I'm going with offside for this. I think this Liverpool team has been solid for the last 3 seasons.
It's tough.
Even the one.
I think doing back to
No.
Premier League title.
It's tough, yeah.
For the
It's
last
tough.
3
Even the
seasons,
one
guys,
that the last season that Man City won it, you saw how well
should have been
Liverpool
Liverpool.
chased them. Exactly,
been
chased them to
Liverpool.
the end.
Yeah,
However,
but to be honest, guys, this is not a dig at Chelsea. But if Man City don't finish above us, we will. I think they're the only team that concern me.
obviously, it's still between both. Obviously, it's still between Liverpool and City.
Don't forget him. He's somewhere in the mix now. This is how he does it. He's second currently.
So for me, at the moment, I'm still not a little bit 50-50 because I chose Liverpool as my favorite, but I'm still sticking a little bit on them just because of Klopp. Just because of Klopp is why.
Yeah, I agree with you.
For me, I really want to see. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Just because of
I
club,
really
that's
want to see
my
how
heart
Jurgen
a
Klopp.
little bit. But look at the injury
Hello.
worries now. That gives me a bit of concern about Liverpool. Like those injury worries concern. Their last two performances have been phenomenal enough to convince me. But like I said, Klopp will always find a way to win. Always find a way to win. That is the proper manager.
100%. That's why I'm confident. But obviously, it's going to be harder.
Yeah, it's gonna be harder, but I'm putting my heart on him because of just Klopp. But he's a proper man. And he knows how to win.
Can I
He
come
always
in?
find a
Can
way
I
to
come
win.
in?
So my trust in
Can I
Klopp
come
Go
in?
for it.
make me believe. Yeah, I think this Liverpool team.
Can
It
you?
will be
Yeah.
hard for them, but Liverpool. I'm putting my heart on you guys to just win the league. To win the league. Don't look for my guys.
Abdullah.
Yeah, I'm here. I hear you.
I mean, in as much as we all believe this Liverpool strength and everything, I think this injury phase that they are in right now, this is the first time they are facing this kind of much injury within the team. So it's going to be a little bit different. I really want to see how Jurgen Klopp will navigate this period, also coinciding with the number of games that are coming up. Let's not forget, in the next 17 days, we are going to have games
For sure.
almost
December is going to be very tough.
every day in the league. Between so, I really want to see the test of strength, how Jurgen Klopp is going to manage this injury depleted side through this period. If he can navigate through this period and they are still on top, then definitely they are going to win the league. But if he can't,
Mhm.
because he hasn't faced this type of situation before, I am doubting if he can do it. But if
No,
he
but the thing,
does, then yes, I can
yeah,
say
this is how I
confidently.
see it though. Like come January, as long as we stay ahead of Manchester City, then we have a chance. As long as, like, let's say Chelsea or Spurs don't go like 7, 8, 9, 10 points clear of us in the next couple of months, then there's
Yeah,
always going to be a chance.
yeah,
Because I think it's going to go down to the wire, honestly.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. But we have a Liverpool side right now that the three midfielders have never played. I mean, they've barely played together. So teams are going to take advantage of their midfield. The attack, Salah is in and out. You
To
know,
be fair, I don't.
the
Yeah, I don't think
defense.
our midfield is a weak issue. It's just the defense, really. We have to make sure we protect the defense because midfield, I
In
think
as
we're all
much
right.
as for me, in as much as it's not about being weak. I think there's no synergy between those crop of players. It's one thing to have the players, another thing to have the synergy between them. The way they play
Mm,
together, can they coerce together? That is what I want to
yeah,
see this
we're
weekend.
just gonna see
I
on
want to see
Sunday. I
how
think.
well they.
Yeah.
Oh, so can you? Oh, okay, where's Nangi?
Can't see him in the chat.
He needs to come back. He was talking. I don't know why. Did he went out?
Yeah, I can't see him at the moment.
Oh, because
Yeah,
I was hearing him talking about synergy and everything.
yeah,
Am I
yeah.
I think
hearing?
maybe the network got bad.
He needs to come back. He needs to come back.
Yeah.
So, but for me, the reason I said I'm trusting Liverpool is just one because of one player, because of one manager's club. Because for me,
Mm.
like I rate Klopp a lot. I rate Klopp a lot. I rate him a lot. So, is him as a manager of Liverpool gave me huge confidence of like sticking my ass and saying yes, Liverpool will go. But the problem is my concern is the injury worries for Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's
To be fair, we can all agree that the injury problem has definitely opened up the title race for like
Mhm.
3 or 4 teams now.
Exactly. So the end.
Certainly it has, but it's part of the game. That's why every team is expected to start the season with a certain amount of players. So I mean, I don't
Mm.
think anybody is responsible for that. Injury shouldn't be an excuse
Of
in the
course, it happens to everyone. Yeah, I think we're just going
This is what
through
it
it
is.
right now.
Can we have this debate? Can we talk about the substitutions? The
Yeah,
amount of substitutions that the Premier League has
I think the Premier League has agreed
allowed.
to five sub. Have they agreed or no?
No, no, no. As of this
It
morning,
was
it was
just
the
Is it still on?
championship
EPL.
that agreed.
Oh, only
Is
the
it on
championship that
Yeah,
TV?
it's,
agreed.
Only the championship agreed.
So no EPL has not agreed yet.
They have
no,
not
I think
not
agreed
yet.
yet.
the managers want more than three. They want up to five, but the Premier League is not doesn't seem to be budging.
Yeah, I think Klopp and Pep both complained about it after the City Liverpool game that they wanted to see that 5 substitution rule back again. So I think that's something they're probably looking at in the next few weeks, but
No,
we
I
don't know
think
because in all
initially
the other
when the
leagues,
last time
that's
they
the
had the
case.
votes, yeah, the last time they had the votes, the lower teams, the West Brom and the likes that have a lesser
Yeah,
team, they refused actually. They refused
yeah,
having five because they felt it was more of an advantage to the bigger teams because they have more
Yeah,
players in depth.
exactly.
That was why
Yeah,
they refused. But right
yeah.
now they have
So
seen that it's affecting everybody.
Wow.
but then again,
yeah, I think that's
look at
something
it.
they might have to
Yeah,
bring back
that's
in the busy period, like in December, January period at the very least.
that's they argue. Excuse me, small teams or the lesser teams doesn't make sense to me because I mean that teams they participate in more competitions or more their players participate in more competitions. For example, international games. This set of international break that just happened now. Most players that join their national teams came from the bigger teams. Now, when you talk about
Yeah.
European competition, most of the teams that the competition, league competition, actually the bigger teams. So it makes common sense that they would want or they will actually need more than 2%. The smaller teams have every week. What some cases 2 games every week to participate in. So I don't really understand how they
Yeah,
want to do
to be
that.
fair, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, I thought that is something that they would keep going into the new season.
Wow.
What do you say?
So what do you guys think about the type of competition? Do you think it should stay or do you think it needs to be brought on back? Because I know the Germany, Italy, and who also are using it? Germany, Italy, which also team are using it? I think the La Liga too are using it also
Yeah.
too. The Germany, Italy, and
Personally, for me, if all the other top leagues have the 5 substitution rule, then I don't think it should be any different for the Premier League as well. Because essentially, whether you have a deep squad or not, whether clubs like West Brom, for example, or Burnley feel like that's an advantage for the bigger teams, at the end of the day, it's there to be, to prevent injuries and whatnot, because we have such a condensed season now due to the pandemic. So I think 5 substitutions wouldn't be bad even until the end of the season, to be honest, because I don't think that's going to be the case moving forward in the future. Obviously, 3 substitutions will come back, but this is just a temporary solution for certain teams and squads because I don't see it as an advantage. I just think it just eases the workload on certain players. But obviously, not every manager is going to take advantage of that and use 3 or 4 or 5 substitutions. So sometimes in a tactical game, a manager may decide to use just 2 substitutions or even 3 at minimum. So
that's
Even if you
fair
look
enough,
at
though, but I think for the temporary purpose,
when football restarted, can you hear me?
yeah,
When football restarted, I think
continue. Yeah, we can hear you.
yeah. Continue, mate. I can hear you.
Lampard barely season. How 5 substitution. If you look at a team like now, when you have 5 subs on the bench, that means a Giroud can still come on. Hudson Odoi can come on. You have 5
Yeah,
solid players on the bench, while a Burnley does not have that quality of players. I think that was the main reason why they refused
Yeah, I can
joining.
definitely
I
see the
mean,
logic
accepting.
behind the
Yeah,
reason why
exactly.
they
There's a
changed it back to
logic,
3. Yeah. There's definitely the
but
logic there.
unfortunately, right now it's not favoring anybody at all. The small team, the big teams, everyone needs a player in that team. If your team is
Yeah,
small, you can bring in players from the under 23 squad. You need players. I mean,
yeah. Because players
coronavirus is
obviously
affecting
likely to get
people.
injured. Yeah,
Exactly. So many games going on, so injuries, the virus, everything is affecting. So everyone needs an extra hand, an extra leg on the pitch right now. So for me, I think they should bring back the 5 substitution.
yeah. I agree. Even for a temporary period, like that would be a lot of help for a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Of course, when it comes to these things, the Premier League tends to be the last. Other leagues are doing it already. I don't know why the Premier League It's still behind other leagues with that.
Yeah,
Same thing for VAR and stuff. So I don't know.
yeah. It's
Maybe
unlikely they're going to
that's
change
part
it.
of the marketing strategy. Yeah, just to be in the news.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon, but they really should be, to be honest.
Hello,
Is
Abdullah.
Abdullahi there, by the way?
Hello, Abdullah.
I don't think he's there. I'm not sure. We were going to move on
Okay.
to the weekend's games to preview some of the weekend's
Ooh,
games, but
okay. I
the
think
first
we've
game is
already talked.
obviously, yeah, the first
Yeah.
game is obviously Newcastle Chelsea. So, what do you think will happen in that game, and are you confident, given Chelsea's run of form, that you guys can continue
I stand with
to
Frank
push?
Lampard. I stand with Frank Lampard on his argument that why do there have to be a 12:30 kickoff,
And yeah,
especially after the
it
international
doesn't make
break.
sense.
Why does it have to be the same thing? Boils down to the same thing about substitutions, number of players you can change. And just go now that Thiago wanted to, but won't even travel at all because he just arrived from Brazil, long distance. So that Premier League should be taking into perspective. But again, there's a TV right. You get so it's a little bit complicated
Yeah.
than whatever it is we talk about, as things are right. These are just little things that can sense the availability of players.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So the weekend preview is the Spurs, Man City, Liverpool, Leicester City, and the Newcastle, Chelsea. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, but it's cracking up a little bit.
Okay, I'm coming. Just you guys discuss something. Let me try to fix it.
Just can hear this noise. I think it's better now. I mean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, it's better now.
Oh, okay. So for me, I'm hungry with APL. Why would they put our match early morning? Why? Why did they do that? Why? Because we just came up on the international break and the team needs some time to rest. Like Thiago Silva and Co are not even ready at the moment. They went for international break. So how did they put our match early morning? Why? So I don't know what's wrong with with the APL people. Why did they put our match early morning? Should have been like something like 11:30, 12 o'clock, something, or put us on Sunday. Even I wouldn't mind playing on Sunday, but why put us on early morning match when there's no even time to rest?
Yeah.
At the very
So
least, the 3 p.m.
It
would
has
have
to
been
do
all
with
right.
scheduling.
exactly. Why did they put it early morning? That's my worry. Why?
It's
Why?
because of these games have to be shown on TV, and especially
That's
now that there are
exactly
no
why.
fans.
Yeah,
There are no fans in the stands anymore. So I think all these. I don't know if all these games now show on TV on the TV in the UK. But that's
they
something
do
that
definitely. They're basically
okay.
BT Sport and Sky Sports
Sky
share
Sports,
the rights,
exactly.
so they
So
basically split the
all
games.
games have to find a slot. All games have to be included in the slot. And I think maybe because of Chelsea's subsequent fixtures, I think the next midweek fixture and all that. So if they don't, a team has to take the fall, no doubt about that. But in my opinion, maybe I would have said, okay, maybe they would have moved maybe two lesser teams or two mid-table teams that did not necessarily have their players participate, or most of their players participate in international
In the
fixtures.
early
Maybe
kickoff.
that would
Yeah,
have made more sense. But then
yeah.
again, I think they said computers are the one. It's computers that select these fixtures. I don't know how realistic that is, but this is just me saying. Lampard has complained about it. Obviously, if his voice doesn't carry water, is it my own that will carry water, Sha? So
Well,
that's
for
just
me, I think so you already made a very valid point there. You said there's someone who would always have to take the fall. So once it happens, I think you just have to face it and move on because whether you complain or not, you still have to play the game. So I don't buy all these complaints. You have the game to play. Just go out there and play it. It's nobody's fault. The fixtures have been set from beginning of the season. So it's
At
not like they
what
saw it
cost,
and they
though?
purposely.
No, they actually
No,
do
no.
have rescheduled fixtures. Remember, some fixtures get
You
rescheduled.
can't. We're in perilous. I mean, we're in difficult times now. It's difficult to reschedule games at this point in time. Like I said, the next 17 days we're going to have a whole lot of games. So there's no way to
The good thing is for
reschedule at
Chelsea
this
that they
point in
have the
time.
squad to cope with it.
Yeah,
I
then
think.
we're going to have a whole lot of
Exactly.
games. Then
Exactly.
let the players keep having muscle injuries. I think this is a record. Of this period, there's a record number of players that have muscle injuries at the same time, and at the end of the day, it's going to affect the quality of football that you're trying to market as the Premier League. Don't be surprised when you see Chelsea playing against Newcastle, and we're talking about them being sluggish, backwards passes, and all that. And you ask yourself why, but then again, it is what it is because they have to find a way to manage the situation.
That is
Unfortunately,
why he has squad depth. That's why he has squad depth. Rudiger should play. You have Tomori who hasn't played at all. He doesn't have to be Thiago Silva. You have squad depth. Odoi can play. Kovacic can come in. Jorginho can play. We have squad depth. So I mean,
It's going to
we
be an
shouldn't be the
interesting
ones
game,
complaining.
definitely.
Exactly.
all
Newcastle has players also.
the players you mentioned literally were involved in international fixtures. Literally just came back. So it's that thing we're talking about. Players not catching a break, being on flights for whatever number of hours. That's why I said top teams. The idea of the top team benefiting from 5 substitution it does not really make sense because most of the players travel for hours long international commitments and come back and participate in this.
But despite that, are you confident that Chelsea are still going to win this game? Because still on paper, it is a game that Chelsea should win.
Yeah, like you said, on paper. However, we know that Newcastle is a team that always gives Chelsea tough time anytime they play together.
Newcastle is a banana peel for Chelsea.
Exactly. So it's not a team
Especially as
that
a
you
game,
just want
yeah,
to. It's not a
especially away
game you
from
just
home.
want to write off.
But I'm going to say Chelsea win, but it's going to be very, very close. Maybe like a 3-1.
Maybe I would say maybe 3-0. Maybe 3-0.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
I'm not
personally
even
am always comfortable.
I'm even
I'm always comfortable with early
you say
kickoffs.
3-1. Or maybe because of Mendy, maybe 2-0.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea have to win this game. Obviously, now a lot of people are talking about them challenging for the title. This is the kind of game they have to win, and they
Yep.
need that rhythm as well. So
Exactly. Exactly. But I'm not worried though because we have the squad depth. So, but I'm just not happy about the way they put our match early morning. But I
yeah,
understand. I understand. Where they put it, it's what it is. The match I'm anticipating to wait for is the Tottenham Hotspur Chelsea next weekend. That is the match I'm waiting for. That is the match. We'll see versus Lampard next weekend. Spurs versus
yeah,
Chelsea.
that's going
That's
to
the
be a
match.
great game. Yeah, Spurs
Eh,
basically have a tough fixture schedule right now. Spurs have a lot of top teams that they're facing. That we'll see if they're serious about their title credentials.
and
Because a
for
lot of
me,
people are saying Spurs are in the title race, including myself. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, we'll see how they do.
yep. So I think have you guys predicted the match? Okay, let's go for Chelsea. After what do you put it for Chelsea match? 2-0, 3-0, 3-1?
To be a boring game. So because of that, I don't expect harvest of goals or lots of goals. Or expect an entertaining game for Chelsea. Mount's out, Pulisic is not back, that's not confirmed feet. What's his name? Who else? Thiago, of course, the backbone of the defense is not there. Who else am I missing? Ben Chilwell. Remember he was out injured
He's
after the
back. He's
first
back.
game.
He trained today. I saw him
Yeah,
training
yeah,
today.
yeah. I'm coming. Yeah, he trained with the side, but I understand. I feel that maybe because of the number of games coming up, Lampard may want to be a little bit more, protective of him. That's an option, in my opinion. And even if he comes back, you're not sure of, what Chilwell will do. So I expect boring game. But then again, Chelsea will keep a clean sheet. Thank you very much to Mendy. Mendy. At least I can say based on that, I can say Chelsea won't lose. Maybe a draw. Unfortunately, maybe a draw against Newcastle. Most of their players have been well rested.
Yep.
So
Niangi, what's your prediction for the Newcastle? Are you predicting draw or are you predicting?
I don't like when me and offside are always on the same side. But unfortunately, I think I have to
Why
agree with
that though?
I think I have to agree with that. It's going to be a difficult game, most likely. But I'm not just always comfortable with early kickoffs. Generally, I'm not always comfortable with it. So for me, I would say Chelsea will sneak it, just 1-0.
Wow, 1-0.
1-0.
I think I'm gonna go with you there. But Newcastle is always a tough place to go, especially St James's Park. It's very tough place to go. Like, this is a tricky match to predict. It's a very tricky match to predict. It's very tricky for me to predict. But I think I'm gonna go with 1-0 too. Should I stick my hand with 3-0? It's possible though, because Southampton beat them 2-0. Southampton should have even won more than that. But I think Southampton beat them 3-0, and they made huge, huge mistake, a lot of mistake they made in that match. But I think Southampton beat them 3-0, 2-0. So I think I'm gonna go. Let me just stick with 1-0 for now. 1-0.
You see, the difference between then and now is that at that point, there was already momentum. The teams were already doing, Southampton was playing well, Chelsea were playing well. But the international break is like a restart. It's a restart for everybody. So now, Newcastle had players that didn't travel. They were all training and relaxed and all. Chelsea has new players. Players tired coming back. Ziyech scoring, playing all the games in Africa, traveling back. Thiago Silva playing 90 minutes in Brazil, just getting back to camp. Tired legs and all. So I would not want to go with that form that we finished with before the international break. It's like everyone is starting afresh again. That's why I'm choosing a very, very close score line. Once again, I'll say 1-0 full-time score.
Wow. So are you gonna be surprised if Chelsea win more than 1-0, maybe 2 or 3-0? Will you be surprised?
No, I won't be surprised. But I do not want to raise my hopes high. So I'm sticking to the 1-0.
It's tough. Going for Newcastle is tough because that team,
Exactly how I feel. And that was why I actually said a draw, because anything is sometimes better not to raise your expectations. So when things actually go the way you predicted, you not feel so terrible. If Chelsea win by more than 2 goals, I'll be super impressed. In fact, if Chelsea is able to score by score so many goals, like more than 2 goals, I'll be super impressed. Who is going to play the game? Who's going to score the goals? Who would we most likely have in the wings? The same players that have been running down. Timo Werner. Timo Werner was part of the national team during the international break, and he played a significant amount of minutes. Messi Mount, that will most likely start the game. Frank Lampard has really come down. Who else? Hakim Ziyech has not played
Tammy
how many
Abraham.
games? Tammy Abraham. Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't play so many games in the international break. So that's one player that you may even want to talk about. Having the legs. Even if you want to bring in a player like Giroud. Giroud was part of the national team and was very active. Played so many minutes, and he's not young. You talk on the other side. Christian Pulisic is who would have started? Havertz is not exactly fit. So where would the goals come from? You get me? Kovacic was part of the national team. N'Golo Kante was part of the national team, very actively. National team actively involved. Jorginho was very much part of the national team. So these legs will most likely be tired. What are the odds that Chelsea will bang in the goals? That's it. Except penalties somewhere here and there. Then thank God.
Wow. Okay, so what do you think about them? Tottenham Hotspur, Man City. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I said, what do you think about the Tottenham Hotspur, Man City?
Oh wow, that's a tantalizing fixture. I'm getting that very well. But it's the reverse. I think that's the previous. I think it was the reverse fixture. I can't remember if it was one that was at home.
That was last season. The last season. Last season.
Jose Mourinho surprised everyone, and they actually won that one 2 goals to nil. I think that was Bergwijn's first goal for the club.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, I actually expected him after seeing that game. I actually expected him to be a key player on the side. I don't know what happened to him. Son also scored in that game. And these are players that Jose Mourinho currently has at disposal. Has
Mm-hmm.
but at least he has options. He
Yep.
has even he can decide to rest Harry Kane, right? He
Yep.
still has options. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And I would want to tilt towards the side of Tottenham, not because of my sentimental interest in Jose Mourinho, attachment to Jose Mourinho, but because of what I've seen both sides do so far this season. And let me even say to you, Abdullah, congratulations. Your Pep Guardiola has extended his contract.
why,
Has
why, why,
extended.
why do you
I
bring in
wonder
Pep?
how you received that news. I wonder how you reacted towards it.
Why do you bring in Pep? I said I don't want to talk about Pep. Oh my! Why do you bring in Pep in? Ah.
Don't worry, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. But for the weekend game, I'll pitch my tent with Tottenham. Tottenham seem like they have a better momentum going into this particular one. Manchester City continues struggling, whether it comes to scoring goals or cutting up short, not conceding goals. Things just seem to be going wrong against them. So I'll pitch my tent with Tottenham going into this one.
So Niangi, where are you going for? Man City or Tottenham Hotspur?
Why am I just having to agree with offside like this? Why?
What's wrong with you? Oh my goodness.
I mean, the truth is, this City side has lost the invincibility. They are no longer invincible this season. You know, it's like they've been found out. Teams go there, teams go to the Etihad without being scared again. Coupled with the whole Aguero injury, Aguero has barely played games this season. The defense has also been conceding a whole number of goals. Then on the other hand, if you look at the Tottenham, there's a resurgence in that team. There's a newfound belief in that team. The way they play now, Hurricane, Son, every one of them, the way they play when they're in the game, there's just that belief in that team. So you see, there's a difference that there's one coming up, the spirit, the zeal, they're coming up, while the other one is dropping. So unfortunately, you can't see more than the one coming up to have the advantage over the one going down. So definitely, I think Tottenham might just pick at least a point. I don't see Tottenham losing this weekend. I don't see them losing that game.
It's tough. I'm going for a draw. I already predicted the draw already. I'm going for a draw. Both two guys, I'm going for a draw for the matches.
Why
You know,
because you hate both managers. You dislike both managers. That's why you're going
I
for.
don't dislike Jose, but I don't let me talk about the
Are
other
you
manager.
sure?
Just let me talk about the other manager. I don't think Jose has been declining a little bit for like I think 1 year or 2 years. We've been not that Jose we know, but I think he's getting his same back because of the
You
Tottenham
think
Hotspur.
the manager that just
It's
picked
lost.
Tottenham from where they were and they're currently second in second place, and you still see it's declining? Come on.
I said like last 2 years. Like do
Yeah,
you see? Okay, when the
last
next
year, literally, by this time last year was when he took over Tottenham. So what are you saying? The case of Manchester United, their issue was way more complicated than Jose Mourinho, and that's the problem they are still suffering till date.
okay, but in terms of those two managers,
if
like
you
I
see,
hate to say, I don't hate to say,
if
but the
you
other manager,
see, if
I don't want
let's
to talk
take
about
our
right
mind, let's take our minds back to the Liverpool
now.
realized that club was now defending.
Mm-hmm.
So City that was not defending, I was just okay. Let me just get away with this draw. Let me just get away with this draw. So and that is very very unusual of Pep for him to be fighting for a draw. That shows a whole lot that things are not right with that team. They are dropping. The morale is not there again. He just wants. So if he goes with that same mindset to go and play against this resurgence Tottenham, I mean Tottenham will nick it. For me, like I said, I do not want to predict a draw. So I'll slightly tilt towards Tottenham again. I think a 1-0 or a 2-1 victory in favor of Tottenham.
For me, I'm having two prediction. My head says something else. My mind says something else. My head say Man says will win. My mind say 2-2. Because yeah. Ah,
Oh my
after that
goodness.
brought it up now. I think
Abdullahi,
I need to,
Abdullahi,
ah,
Abdullahi.
let me talk about Pep now. Let me talk about Pep. My
Which
problem with
one is
Pep
your
is
heart?
my problem with Pep is it's not
Follow
about
your head, leave your heart.
my problem with Pep is you see he has every club he has gone is won multiple trophies international like domestic trophies and also I think he has won Champions League in Barcelona and his failure has been Bayern Munich and Man City. My problem with Pep is it's not about winning the EPL, it's about competing in the UEFA Champions League, in which he has not been doing. You cannot spend billions of euros and you keep flopping, and people can keep rating you the best manager in the world. Hell no for me. I call you goat. I did not call you goat. I call you flop in Europe. If you can't deliver me the Champions League, you are not a goat for me. Nah, 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 nah. Nope, I'm not even putting you in the top 5 at the moment because
So
you're not delivering.
if you're saying all this about him, on what basis do you expect him to defeat Tottenham? You're the same
Against
person
Tottenham.
saying that you feel he will defeat Tottenham.
I just believe Man City have more quality players than Tottenham Hotspur. That's it. I believe so. I think the problem with Ose is the problem with it is I think uh the only I think Raheem Sterling is injured. I think so. I think he's injured. Is he injured or is he fit? Because he didn't play the England match. I think he's injured. So my only problem with Ose is I think Ose is gonna mark maybe Kevin De Bruyne.
Them
Don't
one on
give
one.
mm, maybe Kevin De Bruyne kind of mark Kevin De Bruyne, pick him out of the team. Maybe that's where he could get the job. I think um, City has a more clinical team than Tottenham Hotspur. That's why I'm giving it to Man City. But I'm seeing the duo do, so which is
Did
what
you
I'm.
say, did you say something more than Manchester City? Let me give you the
Yeah,
numbers now. Tottenham have scored 9 goals this season. Manchester City, on the other hand, have scored 10 goals and conceded 9. Their goal difference is 1. Tottenham's goal difference is 10. That's a huge gap. That's a huge gap.
but okay. But my issue is yeah, you are right with what you said, but I still believe Man City still have the edge though. That is why I'm giving it to them. They have the edge though. That's why I'm giving it to Man City for me. You are right with what you said, but it's tough to have a prediction at the moment. It's tough, but I think I'm gonna go with Man City. I'm just gonna go with Man City. I don't know why. I just have the faith in Man City because ah,
Because deep down you're a secret admirer of Pep. That's why you always
I don't admire. I don't like Pep.
deep
I
down
don't
you
like Pep.
secret love. You secretly admire Pep.
I
And
don't
sure,
admire Pep. I don't
if
like Pep.
if Pep was to be available now, you want Pep to come to Chelsea.
Hell no. Hell no.
Are
Nah,
you
nah.
sure?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I
I'm
don't like
like,
Pep.
no. I
I cannot
cannot
spend
spend
billions
billions
of
of
money
money
and
and
keep
keep
flopping
flopping
in
in
UEFA
UEFA
Champions
Champions
League.
League.
Marina
Marina
is
is
gonna
gonna
be
be
like,
like,
what
what
the
the
hell
hell
is
is
going
going
on?
on?
We
We
have
have
this
this
kind
kind
of
of
player
player we can't deliver, get the hell out of the way. It's gone. So
So
that's
that's my
Marina for you.
so
So
it's
it's
tough
tough
for
for
me
me
to
to
put
put
it
it
to
to
just
just
say
say
I
I
want
want
Pep
Pep
at
at
the
the
moment.
moment.
Nap,
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 nap.
nap.
Let's look at the attack lines. Look at the attack line. So Tottenham has Harry Kane, they have Son. Who does City
Mm-hmm.
have? Gabriel Jesus. He's not your regular
You
go-to goal scorer.
forgot. He was
Exactly.
what
Sorry?
scored the winning goal in their last game, though.
It doesn't matter. He's not your regular go-to goal scorer. He's not the one you would pick and say that okay, he's a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin De Bruyne,
Gareth
who
Bale.
is the X factor. Kevin De Bruyne, who is
Are
the
you
X
talking
factor,
about
came back
football?
from injury. No, I'm trying to pick players from both teams.
I'm seeing a bugging draw, though, but I just don't know why I'm giving it to Man City. Not because of Pep, but because of the player they have, though. Individual player, I think individually those players are better than Tottenham Hotspur player. That's why I'm giving it to Man City to win the match.
Okay.
Which players do they
Miyangi
have?
was trying to compare the players on
Mm-hmm.
both sides.
Okay, if you are comparing the player, take out Harry Kane and
Exactly.
Why would you take out a kid?
Just no. Where?
You can't take them out. They're X factors. They're the ones that change
They're
the
part
game. They're
of. Why
game
would you take
changers. So
them
you
out?
can't take them out.
They're part of the squad.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to put me on spot on Pep Guardiola. I just don't want to. I don't have the strength for that guy. I don't have that man. I don't have strength for Pep Guardiola. I don't have that strength. I've been ranting a lot about Pep.
Tottenham look like a side that is more hungry. You know,
Mhm.
this position they are in kind of manager is like they are beginning to believe. They are beginning
Yeah.
to have that streets what they call it street wisdom and the streets, you know, the ruggedness, that mentality of winning.
And one thing is, Mourinho is not the kind of manager that you want on the top of the table. He would not go down.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He would
Now
not
you
go
have it.
down.
That's why
Exactly.
I want Man City to win because of Mourinho. Because of Jose. Because once Jose goes top, that is game over. Once he goes top, it's game over.
He would not come down again.
It's game over. Once he go top of the table, it is completely game over. That's why I'm tinting to Man City. Not just because of Pep, because people no. That's because of the player they have. That's it. Not Pep. I don't have time for
Which players they have? Aguero has not scored a goal in 400 and something days. He has not scored
I
a Premier
know.
goal in 400 and more
I
than
know.
a calendar year.
But we can't just write
Bro,
those.
Jesus is not the player you trust to give you the
I
goals.
know.
Kevin De Bruyne tends to play forward, more forward on the pitch when they're playing against bigger teams, right? So
He just got back
where do
from
you expect
injury,
him
so
to
he's not
be?
even fit yet.
Oh, he's not fit. Kevin De Bruyne.
I think is he fit or not fit? He played against Belgium.
He played the
Belgium.
Belgium now. He played the last round of games before the break.
Yeah,
When
he played.
did
Yeah,
it?
he did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who do you have? Bernard Silva, yes, but he's not in the best run of form. Gundogan is not in the best run of form. Who do you expect? There's no more David Silva. So where do you expect the goals to come from? You know, that's why
Okay.
they've not scored as much goals. They've scored 10 goals this season, and they've conceded 9. So their defense is a problem as well as
Mhm.
their attack.
Yep. But I think I'm still gonna stick with my prediction. I'm going for Man City to win.
They have Foden.
That's is informed though. They have Ferran Torres is
Oh
informed.
yeah, that's true. Phil Foden. But
Ferran
Ferran
Torres.
Torres is not even the starter at City.
Exactly.
He's not even the
Well,
starter.
I'm
Phil
just
Foden.
going for Man City though. I'm just going for Man City just because of Man City, just because of the Man City. I'm just going for Man City. That's it. I'm not mentioning Pep just because of Man City. That's it.
No problem. We've heard you. We'll see how that
I'm,
goes.
I'm not going for Pep.
No problem.
My head says Man City win. My heart says 1-1, a boring 1-1. I just don't know. But we'll see how it goes.
I don't expect a boring game though, especially from Tottenham.
Because I know Ose will not attack. Ose will probably want to defend. He will not go on the counter. He will not attack. He will not go on the counter. He's playing Man City. He knows he will say Man City have the ball. You want to give Man City have the ball.
Yeah, but it's not Man City of before. As a matter of fact, Tottenham have been better. They pose a bigger threat, in my opinion, than Manchester City. So I don't think Jose Mourinho would do that.
Man City are 13th on the table, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're right.
So I don't think Mourinho will want to sit down going into that type of game.
You know the problem. If Mourinho attack this Man City team,
especially when he knows very well that first and third, that's Leicester City and Liverpool are playing. That's an opportunity for him to go top. What are you saying?
That's an opportunity for him to go top. He will come all out.
Golden opportunity for him to go top of the league.
I see Gareth Bale starting that game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
that's true.
He wasn't part of. He wasn't involved in the international fixtures, right?
Yeah, it was not.
So that means he's well rested. Mourinho has an array of players to pick from. There's still Bergwijn. There's still I don't think Son was part of any game this international break. He has players that are rested. Hello, are you there? Go on.
Better goal difference between them and Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea and Tottenham has better goal difference. Who has better goal difference between them? Chelsea and Tottenham.
Chelsea has the joint highest goal difference in Premier League currently, with Tottenham at 10 goals.
Wow.
10 goals. Tottenham,
So
yes.
Chelsea has to win
Tottenham has scored
3-0 or 4-0 to go top. Even if Tottenham wins, Tottenham see like Chelsea has to win
If Tottenham,
half.
if Tottenham draw it, if Tottenham fail to win, or if they draw, if they fail to win, all Chelsea literally has to do is to win their game,
Mm-hmm.
and Chelsea will go off Tottenham. Do you get? So both Tottenham. Okay, so Tottenham have 17.
So since Chelsea is even
Hello. Yeah. So Chelsea literally just have to win, and okay, yeah. If Tottenham draw their game and Chelsea win, Chelsea will go ahead of
playing
Tottenham
fair.
by goal difference. So, are you there? Can you hear me, Abdullah?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham lost by 2 points. So if Tottenham draw their game, they'll have 18 points, right? And they'll have their goal difference still be 10, right? No matter
Yeah.
how
Yep.
many goals they used to draw. Now, if Chelsea win their game, Chelsea on the other hand have 18 points, right? And that will be tied with Tottenham. And also, they'll, because seeing that they won the game, they will have at least +1 goal difference ahead of Tottenham. So as long as Tottenham fail to win the game against Manchester City, Chelsea will go ahead of them. And then that's one of the reasons why we should be praying that Leicester City and Liverpool draw their game.
I already predicted the draw for that match. I predicted the draw for that match already. Because that match is gonna be for me a boring match than the Tottenham Hotspur match. But that's the problem with us. If we say go top of the table, before you bring go sit down, come on, I go walk, na big work. Before I bring go sit down, na big
I
work.
actually want him to win it. I want him to win it with Tottenham.
Yeah.
I'll prefer if Chelsea don't win it, I'll rather he wins it than any other team. And we're not even talking about Manchester United.
Don't mention that club. That's the Vibe FC. Their name is Vibe FC. So that's not a team at all. This team,
Oh,
that
Man
United
City
team.
10th, not
I know.
13th.
Oh, Manchester 10th.
Yeah, Manchester is actually 10th with 12 points. Yeah.
So United
Just
are
3
13
points
up.
behind Chelsea, actually. But Manchester
That's
United
not-
are 14th with 10 points.
That's not bad. So the Premier
That's
League
not
is-
bad for United, really?
No, I'm talking about Man City. The Man City.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad
It's
for
a very
United.
narrow gap.
If United lose against West Brom, if they lose against West Brom, oh my Lord in heaven, if they
No,
lose,
no. I don't think that will happen. West Brom have not won any game in the Premier League.
United are
lost
they're
5
poor at
and
Old
drawn
Trafford.
8.
If United lose at Old Trafford, it's not gonna go well. It
No,
won't go well.
I don't see that. Highest
At this rate, I don't even trust United winning at Old Trafford. They've been poor at Old Trafford. I don't trust them winning. I don't. With the form they are, I don't trust them winning. So let's talk about the biggest one I wanted to talk about. The debate: Lampard versus Gerard versus Scholes. This has been a huge debate on my head since like last 2 weeks.
You said who? Lampard versus Gerard versus who?
Paul Scholes.
Oh my goodness! What is Paul Scholes doing there? As what? As players, midfielders.
Let me give out the criteria. So for me, it has to be maybe statistic, the trophies they won for their individual play.
But are you talking as players or as manager? Okay, as players.
As player, I'm talking about as manager, as player. What they've done for their clubs. So their clubs. So the trophies they won, their impact in their team, and how clutch they have been for their teams domestically, Europe, and also all those like FA Cup, the EFL Cup and Co, and also European League also too. How much have they done? So Lampard versus Scholes versus Steven Gerrard. So let me go to offside first. Who is the better player between the three of them?
You know me now. Number one, I'll pick Lampard. I don't go any direction, left or right. And this has been a debate I've had with myself for such a long time. Not even for schools. Talking about Lampard or Gerrard. But I do know that Lampard is a manager. Maybe because he was one I experienced in my side, and maybe because of it, I'm more comfortable with him and his contribution and stuff. But for a player that is the highest goal scoring midfielder in the club, in the league, a player that is the highest goal scorer in the club, it speaks volumes. You know, despite being he wasn't even number 10, right? But for him to have amassed that amount of goals, it speaks volumes over a 13-year spell at Chelsea. How many years did Steven Gerrard spend at Liverpool? But you can't compare his goals to that of Frank Lampard. If you talk about leadership, yeah, both players had it. Paul Scholes also has it. But then again, for the goal contribution that Lampard brought to the side, that is one thing that will make me pick him ahead of the other players. Don't take me wrong. They are all fantastic in their own little way. And for one, I really did not understand why that golden generation, why they could not play together, why they could not play them together, get the best out of them when they were still active. But if you ask me to pick between three of them, in third place, I would have Gerard, because the reason I have Steven Gerrard in third place is because whatever it is I want from Steven Gerrard, I may as well get it from Frank Lampard. But when it comes to some of those passes that Giggs used to give and stuff, you need someone like that in the side. That's why I have him in second place, and then Frank Lampard.
Sorry, are we talking about gigs or schools?
Sorry, Scholes. Scholes. I have Scholes in second place. Lampard in first place, because Lampard, more or less, if you're talking about long distance shots, he can do it. If you're talking about the leader, captain in the side, whatever, he can do it. So I would rather have him in number one, have Paul Scholes in number two, and then Gerrard in number three. Sorry, I'm not taking away anything from him. That's my preference.
So you're going for Frank Lampard, right?
And so he talks about trophies that they brought to the side.
Yeah,
Of course,
trophies.
Frank Lampard won it all with Chelsea, right? He won
Yep.
it all with Chelsea. Scholes also won it all with Manchester United, right? So I think it's
Steven Gerrard didn't win. I think Gerrard didn't
Gerrard
win.
stays
He didn't win the EPL though. Was he not the one that slipped for the 2013, in which who also won that year? He slipped when Chelsea
Who did
won-
win the EPL?
when they say came back second time when Gerrard slipped.
Yeah, that was Gerrard. Now he didn't win the EPL.
Yeah, he didn't win the EPL. Yeah.
He didn't win the EPL. He won just had trophies, 2 trophies at Liverpool. Or was it 3 throughout his years there? But Lampard, of course, won every single trophy you can imagine. Highest goal scorer for the club, highest goal scoring midfielder in the Premier League. Of course, what more can you ask for someone in his position?
So in the end, who do you go?
Okay.
Lampard, Gerrard, or Scholes. Give us a brief explanation of the three before you make your pick.
3 wonderful players of our time. I mean, it's a blessing to grow up watching these 3 talented players play for their team and their national team together. However, if we have to pick which one of them, I think we have to look at their qualities at first. Fortunately, they play the same positions for their club in their country, so it's something that we can easily pick out. Long passes, they all have it. Short passes, they all have it. Marking, they all have it. Defensive effort, they are there. Leadership, they all have it, and all that. So when they are all at par, what separates them? Something has to give way for to separate each and every one of them. What can we use? What is the common denominator to use here? It has to be the goals. And who scored the highest number of goals? It has to be Frank Lampard. So definitely, this is a debate that is this is a topic that is dead on arrival. I mean, Lampard is heads and shoulders above the other two. There's no way you can downplay the fact that a midfielder could score over 250 goals in his career. There's no way you want to downplay that stats. No, I would not even take it from anybody. I've had the argument way time in the past with people. You cannot tell. There's nothing you can tell me for a midfielder to score that number of goals. What stops the other two from getting those kind of goals also?
But the argument could come that Lampard's play with a more superior team and also superior manager than
At
other two.
all. At no point in Liverpool with Gerard and Fernando Torres, they were dreadful. They were dreadful. I mean,
You know,
Liverpool had
so,
Manchester
Solo?
United had a squad for years, for years.
Yeah.
So Chelsea was just coming up. In fact, Chelsea was the smallest among the three of them. Chelsea were just the team
Exactly.
coming up. So they didn't even have any advantage at all. They were all playing penalties. Liverpool, Gerard used to take the penalties at Liverpool. So taking penalties is also not an excuse.
Even sorry to cut you short. Let me just reply before I forget. Reply what Abdullah just said now. You said to playing with Chelsea, playing with more quality players. Now it is those players, these three players we are talking about now, that
Mm-hmm.
they are supposed to have been the fulcrum, or the key players in their different teams. Take away from Lampard from Chelsea teams, from Chelsea teams he played in, and you realize how much impact he had in the side, and you realize how much gap he would have left in the side. Now, that is the amount of influence that Gerard should have also had on the Liverpool side. Liverpool had players. They had Fernando Torres. They had quality players. He was also the captain of the side. At Manchester United, the same thing. They had good players. So I don't think it's an excuse to say, yeah, Lampard had better players, and that was why he scored more goals than these other guys. I don't think it's. I don't take that as an excuse.
But some Liverpool fans will tell you that the reason Lampard is just because it's statistic that's making him score goals, because he has Jose, he has Drogba, he has this kind of player who will pull him through to make it score. And my argument to them is like, yes, we have Drogba who has been consistent, but Lampard also score goals. He also make an assist also too. So you cannot give me that excuse in kind of sabotaging Lampard and disrespecting him and telling me Gerard is better. What is Gerard better than? Like, what
Lampard
has
Lampard
Gerard
has
done?
more goals. Lampard has more goals than Drogba.
Exactly.
So it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. Liverpool had Gerard. They had Decoit. They had John Arise. They had you know
Yeah, Mascherano,
Lampard
Sabi
literally
Alonso,
they had
made himself.
Mascherano.
Lampard
Sabi
They had
literally
Alonso.
Sami
made
Hipia.
himself become a necessary and a key component of the Chelsea side. He was the one that it wasn't like the different managers came and they just liked him. Remember when initially when he was it at West Ham? Yes, at West
Mm-hmm.
Ham. When the fans and the journalists were questioning his qualities, he was the one that took it upon himself, made himself a key player in the Chelsea side. In the Chelsea
Mm-hmm.
side, no matter the manager that came in. So the onus was on these other players to make themselves key. The center of attention in quotes. That's how do I put it? Like a major player in the side to have that influence in the side. So it's not an excuse. Gerard was a legend. He's a legend in the club. He spent how many years? I think he spent a longer time in Liverpool than Lampard at Chelsea. Same goes with Scholes. So there is no excuse whatsoever that one would give that will be valid. Lampard literally made himself what he actually turned out to be during his time at Chelsea.
But I had a
Where I
conversation with
would
I have the wait before sorry for cutting short Nyanka. I had a
okay.
conversation with Liverpool fans. They were telling me they gave me this excuse and I was looking at the excuse and I was laughing. Lampard has Jose, he has Avra Grant, he has Gus Endek, he has Carlo Ancelotti, he has I think Roberto Di Matteo. He also has Roberto. I think when Jose came back the second time also, Lampard also played under him. Those are top quality players in which managers in which Frank Lampard played against. Good. He won the EPL and he also won an European trophy. But in terms of Gerard lasted long. I think he played with Rafa Benitez, what's called Kenny Dalglish, and it was like, why didn't he win the EPL? It was like because Lampard is a Premier League merchant. And then I was like, no. That cannot be an excuse for me because if he's that good, he has to win the EPL. That was not an excuse for me. If he's that good, I can guarantee you he has to win the IPL. You can't give me an excuse that because he doesn't have this superior player, Obi Mikel, Deco, Drogba, Nicolas Anelka. Those kind of player doesn't have with him, does not make him a better player. Nap. He has very good world-class player. Mascherano, Sabi Alonso, Dreycourt, Fernando Torres, Pic Torres, a very proven Premier League goal scorer. So what are you telling me? That's not, for me, that's not an excuse for me not winning the EPL. Not an excuse for me. And they're bringing out the 2005 Istanbul final. For me, Gerard is not one of that. He's one of those best players there, but arguably not the best player in that match. They have a lot of best players who turn up in that 2005. Not only him only. So for me, that's not an excuse for me. It's just being disrespecting Lampard and calling him a Premier League merchant because of this. No, that's not. That's just a mere excuse of you guys not respecting him. He has proven best goal scorer in EPL, top 5 highest goal scorer in Chelsea. So in EPL, he has the most goals, long race goals. What else do you want him to do? This guy has proven countless times. You still disrespecting him and calling him Premier League merchant. For me, that's a typical excuse for me giving out. For me, that's an excuse in which I don't buy with. For me, just giving out an excuse. That's what for me. Just buying an excuse for me. It's not even a point that can be proven. Because if you are telling me Gerard is better than this, Gerard is better than that, why didn't he win the EPL? That is my question to Liverpool fans. Why? Why didn't he win it? Why? So if you cannot tell me because he's better than Frank Lampard and Scholes, so
Well, I have the answer. I have the answer to why he did not leave, why he did not win the EPL, and it makes pretty much sense. He slept.
but he has the 2013. I can understand the sleep, but this has been coming out in some Liverpool fans. Most of them doesn't want to accept the defeat or come
Oh
out
my
and say the
God.
truth.
I really have no idea. If had it been Steven Gerrard was an English player, I don't think the Premier League and English media will be hyping him as much as they do.
Yeah.
Especially comparing him to a player like Frank Lampard after all his achievements. I don't see a basis for comparison. I think the only reason they hype him as much is because he's an English player.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason they compare him to Frank Lampard. Other than that, he shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as Frank Lampard. The achievements and the quality and let me not say talents, but the achievements and careers are totally different stories entirely.
So Nyangi, you wanted to say something about this too. Continue your word.
Well, about the 3 actually, not just the 2. I think we've forgotten about Scholes also.
About the 3, sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it. Scholes also. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it. We can hear you.
Something wrong with his mic. I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
I cannot hear you. I can't hear you.
Maybe something is wrong with his mic.
I think his mic is going off.
Yeah. See, I already talked about Scholes. Scholes is I prefer Scholes passing. Amongst all the players, I prefer maybe play. Not necessarily his style of play, but there was always this thing. I don't know how to classify it as I always liked about his style of play. Maybe you say amongst all of them, he wasn't always the one that was just mostly at goals. Maybe assists and passes, some fancy things were more his draw. But then again, I would pick him if I was in midfield. I would pick him next to Frank Lampard before I pick Steve Gerrard. That was why I said Lampard number 1, Scholes number 2, Gerrard number 3. And at the same time, well, if you want to compare his own statistics, his own achievements with Frank Lampard's achievements, yes, he won more Premier League titles. Yes, he won much. I think was he with them in 1999? I can't remember if he was with them in 1991. He won the first Champions League.
I think
He was, yeah. So let's say he won more Champions League.
Was not even
individually.
The best player. Yeah, the best player in United because in the semi-final, he was dropped in the semi-final.
Oh yeah. So now the thing now is if he when it comes to group trophies and accolades and stuff, yeah, he did better than Lampard. But then, how about individual contributions? That's not where Lampard, everything in that particular one. So, as I already classified, written my listings from top to bottom. Is Miyangi back? Can he continue now? No, Miyangi,
I'm
are you
here. I'm
there?
here.
Yeah, so go for it,
I'm
Miyangi.
here.
Scholes, Lampard, and Steven Gerrard.
Okay, I was talking about Scholes. I said Scholes played with a more complete squad. Scholes played with Beckham. He played with Ronaldo. He played with Giggs. He played with Rooney. As in, he played with every one of them. So Scholes even had a more complete squad to play with than Lampard. So the idea of Lampard having more players to play with doesn't even hold water at all for me. However, if you ask me to rate the three of them, I think I'll pick Lampard first. I'll pick Gerard second, then Scholes third. Why do I pick Gerard ahead of Scholes? Is that for the number of years that they played? Can you hear me?
But I think I can compare Scholes to someone, a passer of like maybe Andre Pirlo, someone like a Savi. Just a pass player, someone who knows how to pass balls.
Exactly. That's all there is to him about Scholes. I don't see anything extra special apart from the passes. Nothing. Hello. Hello.
Hello, go on. I can hear you. I also said the same
Okay.
reason why I would want to have him next to Lampard if I was to
I
pick
don't see anything
my top
extra
two.
special about
Yeah.
Scholes minus the passes. So Gerard, on the other hand, for so many years, he carried that team. This is where I will give Gerard the advantage. He was a leader in that team. There were times when you look up to someone, you look up to Gerard, and he would deliver for you. That is what Gerard gave to that Liverpool side. At no point can I pick and say Scholes was a leader in the United setup. At no point. The United squad was so balanced that you can't and you don't even pick out you don't even need Scholes at any point. If you take out Scholes from that team, they won't miss him at all. They would not miss him at any point in time. So to me, I can hardly pick out game that an exceptional game that United played, and they will say Scholes was outstanding in that game, that he was the one that lifted the team. I can't. You can easily pick the Istanbul game for Gerard. There are so many games you can pick for Lampard, but you can't pick any of those for Scholes at all. So for me, Scholes will be third, way, way, way down, not just third, so way, way, way down the pecking order. Then Gerard in second place and Frank Lampard the first.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello, can you guys hear me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said. Abdullah, is
Okay.
Abdullah there? It's like Abdullah
I
is
think
out.
he's not there. I think it's out. He will get back in.
So the only place we disagree is picking Gerard in second place and me picking Scholes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you were to pick a midfield, right? Do you think you can play all three of them together?
Thanks for bringing this back. I wanted to talk about it too. You know, as lovely as three of them were, this is it was more like a cost to the England national team. The three of them play the same position in the national team. This was the cost that England had to carry all through the years when they were playing. So more often than not, one or two of them had to play out of position. Do you get me?
But
So
can we compare Scholes to a pass player of like
Go on, I
Savi,
can hear.
Andres Pirlo? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, welcome back.
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I said, can we guys just compare like Scholes to a player of like maybe like Xavi Hernandez who passed the balls, someone like Andrea Pirlo. It's more of a passer for me, not more of a like He's a technical gifted player who knows how to pass, who can score goals too. But between him and between Lampard and Gerard, there's a levels between them. There's a levels between them. What Lampard has achieved is ridiculously, my lord in heaven. What that guy has achieved in EPL is ridiculous, my lord. Best goals in EPL, long range shot, top 5 in EPL, best goal score. No. What he has achieved is second to none. But I think I'm gonna just rate post scores in terms of the passing ability of players. Not on a high level of goal scoring, but an ability as a player controlling the ball, controlling the tempos of the team, of the team. I'll give it to post scores. I'll give that to post scores.
For me, I still
You know
don't.
what? Based on what Abdullah said, I don't understand. Milan is,
Yeah,
which is a popular opinion that they they can play together. Maybe one of them will have, just like when they talk about playing proper. Maybe you may not get the best out of one of them. They can play,
Obviously.
especially for me.
Yeah.
Lampard and Scholes can play together. Especially
Yeah.
in this, okay, let's say if it's this system of football with a player like Jorginho, for instance,
Okay.
they can play together. But one of them may have to be more restricted in his movement. But you can accommodate them together. Two of them, Scholes and Lampard for me. But playing Lampard and Giroud again, difficult.
So, but how does it work when you play Lampard, Gerard, and Scholes? Because we know out of those 3 players, one can score goals from long range and also can play as more as a number 10 and also as a number 8. The other can play as a DM also can play as a central midfield. So, if I have to choose, I think I'm going to go with Lampard. But in terms of controlling the tempo of the game, I'm going to give it to Paul Scholes for me because he can control the tempo of the game also too. He's a very good passer of the ball. Technically gifted player for me is Paul Scholes. Very, very good on the ball. Very, very good. Very, very good player.
See,
I'm listening. I can't hear you very well. I can't hear you. But can you hear me?
I'm not. Do you get? Silva at Man City was a very, very lovely passer of the ball.
Yeah,
Fabregas at Chelsea Fabregas was a very lovely passer of the ball. So when you just rate scores only with passing, I'm always like, okay, how many assists did he get with those passes? I mean, if you are talented, it should lead to something.
Score goals too. But not on the range of Gerard and Lampard. Scholes can score goals too.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's not on their range, it's not on their level at all. Then, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on. Yeah, go on. We can hear you.
Hello? In the national team, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go on. Just go on. We can hear
Just go on. We can hear you.
Yeah. In the national team, let's not forget that it's now that we're looking at it in the 4-3-3 formation. As at then, what England used to play was 4-4-2. Basic 4-4-2. Standard 4-4-2. So it wasn't 4-3-3. So it wasn't like they could accommodate the 3 of them. Because remember, Beckham would always play on the right.
Oh, well, that it was the
and
job of the
someone else would always play on the left.
Formation that will accommodate his best players. It's not
that's why I said because of the formation that was in play at that point in time, one of them had to always play out of position.
There is no one
No, no,
formation.
no,
It was the
no.
job of the
In
manager
as
to
much
pick
as
the
no, no, no.
formation.
In as much as there's no one formation, there is one major formation. Right now,
But
right now in our generation,
shouldn't the formation depend on the type of players you have? Then you have two players that are key players. You have and you know that they can influence the every game you play. Your job is to find a way to accommodate them.
it would
That's the
affect
point. Who are the
Beckham.
wingers?
The Beckham in your
Who are the
team.
wingers that
You can't accommodate
yeah?
better influencer than Scholes than these three midfielders.
It, it's tough, but those three players are very good players on their right. Like they're very, very good players. But if I have to choose, I think I'm gonna go with Lampard because just because what he has done overall as a player in EPL and also how good of a player in terms of goal scoring, passing a bit, his assist and everything. I can't overlook what Lampard has done. Statistically, also I can overlook what Lampard has done. I can't overlook it. He's a phenomenal player. He is a phenomenal player. He is. I can overlook what he has done. So after you're saying something.
No, I wasn't saying. I wasn't saying. I was already done with what I was saying. I was just talking about when Miyangi was talking about formation. I was saying he said what they were playing then, and I said if they were trying to play that formation with the players they had, it wasn't working. It was the job of the manager, Fabio Capello or whoever it was, to have changed things up to accommodate the players he
Sven
has.
Goran Eriksson.
Yeah, it's Ericsson. Yes, it was even Capello at some point. 06, it was Capello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Before
so it was the job of the
Benitez
manager.
also Benitez was also there too after Benitez.
Benitez never managed Benitez England.
No, I thought it was Liverpool. I thought it said
No, we're
Liverpool.
talking about England.
No, no, I'm talking about England.
Yeah,
I
so it was
think
the job of these managers to go back and find a formation that will accommodate the players he wants. It's as simple as that. Um, because this is national team. It's not club football that you say you go and sign player to fit the formation you want to play. So it's the national team, and then this national team you have these key players. Find a way to accommodate them. That's just all I'm saying. I think they were just unfortunate. It was a golden generation that ordinarily should have achieved so much. You know, should have achieved so much, but then it didn't happen. And then the irony of this now is that now both all three of them now are into management. Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll include Scholes. I don't know if I'm allowed to include Scholes after his failure. But then again, now here we are, and Gerard seems to be doing better than all of them. Even though some will argue that the Scottish League is not up to scratch. But then again, here he is doing very well. Frank Lampard coming up. Paul Scholes is somewhere in the studio.
wow.
So I guess it is what it is.
Wow. So, but can we guys call the England team national team a flop? Can we call them a flop team because they didn't really show up much, both Euro and World Cup? So, how do we rate this England team? How do we rate them?
Yes, I would say they flopped.
Can
They
we call them
flopped. They
flop
were a
because
huge
we can
disappointment.
have Gerard, Scholes, and also Lampard also playing both. On an
Man,
international level, both of them they didn't show that much of.
that's why I'm saying it's not my business if they feel that they were. My point is that generation, they had the talent, but they underperformed. They flopped. They didn't give enough. And yeah, it is what it is. Everybody expected so much more. Ordinarily, that team should have outperformed the current team and should have been more exciting than the current team they have. But somehow, as things are now, England fans are even loving the national team currently more now than they were at the time of Lampard and the likes. So certainly going by the quality of players they had at the time, surely England underperformed from every World Cup to every European competition. They fell flat, manager after manager, tournament after tournament.
Well, now they even have Gareth Southgate, who I don't even rate that much. How even good is Gareth Southgate? It's like chopping and changing. No exact formation. That's my worry with England. England have very good player. They have very good team who can compete on a high level. But having Southgate as a coach, take them forward, I doubt it. Because today he play 4-3-3. Tomorrow he play 3-4-3. Next tomorrow he play 3-5-2. So he really doesn't have a starting 11 which he can bank on and say, yes, this is my starting 11 going forward. No changing. So
I think sometimes what people tend to forget is that that's maintaining that standard or maintaining that formation and all that is a little bit more difficult when you're talking about a national team. It's not just down to England. Our very own dear Nigeria here, for whatever reason, that issue continues to raise its ugly head. Sometimes it's down to the players that are available. It's down to the players that are in form. On form, it's down to players that are fit. It's down to different things, your position, and they don't have these players for a long period of time for them to be able to watch them and measure what they are up to. So sometimes it's not always easy as much as it is for club football to just say, okay, this is your first 11. The player that you most likely expect to be your main player may have performed very well in the last international break. In the next one, they are not fit or they've been out of their club side. They've been on the bench or one thing they've not played.
Yep.
So it's more difficult to maintain that standard when you're coaching a national team side than it is when it's a club side.
Wow. So before I go to GDX, let me say I don't want to say it before, but I think I'm gonna say it now. Let me come to that first. We need to talk about Nigerian Super Eagles themselves. What is going on with that team? Is it Garnet Raw? Is it the players? Because when I watch those players,
Miyangi, over to you, please.
No, over to me.
Miyangi, over to you.
No, over to me, please. Let GDX handle it.
Because I keep thinking about that and I keep shaking my head that this team can go far with a very good manager. It's gonna be that kind of manager that will take it forward, because when you have Victor Osimhen, Alexi Iwobi, Joe Aribo, this kind of player, those teams can perform very well. But what has been the problem of who we still? This thing, what I know is like United Vibe FC. Just like Nigeria now at the moment is like United Vibe FC. They score goals and they relax and they calm down. They start passing small passes. That kind of pisses me off, because as a top country, you have to beat team massless and show how good of a team you are. But the Nigeria team doesn't give them at all. Nap. Imagine Sierra Leone going from 4-0 down to 4, going from 4-0 nil to 4-4. Nah.
Well, did you watch that game? Because I watched that game.
I watched that, and I heard that game and off my TV. I was mad. I was literally mad. I was mad.
See, bro, let me tell you something, right? That, first of all, the team, that team is good enough. That Nigerian team is good enough. Like, but you see that coach, I've said it right from that World Cup, right from 2018. Gonatra is not the coach to take that team forward. Honestly. The guy can be like, he knows how to pick players and stuff. He knows how to scout players. So, but as far as tactics wise, that Baba is not bound. I mean, if he proves me wrong, I will come out. So yeah, okay, fine. He proves me wrong, bro. But man, one thing that really pisses me about that coach is that it takes a while to make a sub. Like, what kind of shit is that? You can see your team needs a sub, right? Give Baba he go wait. He would wait until he turns bad, then he makes a sub. An example is Nigeria Argentina. You know that Nigeria Argentina game, that 2-1 game. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I said
go on.
You remember that Argentina game, that 2-1 game? You see, that match was the perfect time to beat Argentina, because those guys were down. They didn't know what was happening to them. That match was the perfect, and we had chances to play that game off. What's his name? What's the name of this man? This Oku striker that went to Man U and was doing okay. What's the name of that guy? Yeah, that guy. Yeah. We had 2 clear chances to bury that game for us. One. Okay, fine. Even Gerard, he could have made a sub. Our stupid coach was just looking. Now when those fans score, he was not making a sub in something minutes. That's one match. Another match is Nigeria Algeria. that one that Mahrez scored that free kick.
That
You know
match,
that
that
Nations Cup game now.
2 years ago,
Nations Cup.
I gave
No,
that match.
that was
I
last
gave up.
year.
I gave
That
up.
was last year. No, that was last year.
gave
No,
up.
that was Nations Cup last year.
That's
That was last
last
year.
year, right? Mm-hmm.
That was last year. So if I remember that Mahrez scored that damn free kick. That match too.
You guys are
Like,
stressing
look,
yourself.
make it
You
stop.
guys,
Make it
let me
stop.
just say this
Make it
about
stop.
Gennaro.
Let
If
me-
you guys
yeah,
have
give
been
him on the
following
ground.
Gennaro
Yeah.
has been on the job for 5 years. Personally,
Mhm.
as I said some days ago, I did not have any expectation of him, any positive expectation. I didn't expect him to come and take the national team for us. We have a talented and very exciting crop of players as things are in all positions. I didn't expect anything from Gennaro. He has been here for 5 years. A manager that has been national team for 5 years. There's nothing to show for it. Things are not going right. Now, since that time till now, this is what we're still talking about. The excuse and what he keeps saying every time, our squad is young, our squad is young. We qualified for the World Cup, or we qualified for the AFCON with a game to spare or 2 games to spare. That's the achievement. For a team like Nigeria, Ghana Raw is not big enough. Qualification is beneath us. Qualification is not what we should be talking about. Qualification, that is when Nigeria is. And employing a foreign coach as things are, paying him $43,000, I think $43,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miyagi. $43,000
You're right. Yeah.
monthly. $43,000 monthly.
Every month.
That is a lot of money. That's what he earns.
That's a long game.
That's a lot of money, and he should be delivering better than he has done so far. So I just don't want to say so much, but beyond, in my opinion, beyond what he gives to Nigeria on the pitch, I believe there's a lot of politics going on in the back end. It is what it is. I'm not so disappointed. I didn't watch either of the 2 games. In fact, the games were not even the one they played in Nigeria was not on TV. So even us here, we could not watch
Like,
it.
you see that? That's real. When Victor Osimhen came out, when Osimhen came out, I told my brother, I am going outside. He said, why? I said, the match is already over. Because that is the only guy that see that happening. The rest of them are rubbish. Once Osimhen came out, I was like, it's over. It's completely over. When I came back inside, it was already 4-4. I told my brother, this team doesn't have pattern. No pattern, nothing. What is because this code has been there for many years. He's been bad.
Exactly. You know,
Humbling.
it's no pattern. You don't understand what he's trying to do.
Exactly. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, man.
Wow.
Niagi, maybe you have something to say for about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but for me,
If I talk about Super Eagles, we won't leave here today.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's it, man.
Do you know what I call them? There's nothing English about that. I call them super tickets.
Let us just call them Nigeria for now because that's it, man. That's
No,
it.
I call them chickens because there's nothing super about them.
Let me quickly chip in. I think for the Sierra Leone away game that we played, I'm not just going to blame Roy alone. The backroom staff also. I mean,
No,
you people do.
You know, the one Nigeria was 4-4.
The away. The away 0-0.
The new
Yeah.
the one that we played.
The one we played away. When you got into that stadium and you saw that kind of pitch that we're going to play on, why would you be using Why would you be using them Aribo? Why would you be using foreign boys that cannot play on that kind of pitch? When you have the Shehu Abdullahi them and you kept them on the bench,
How many
you have the Nigerian
players were in the squad?
No, babe. Players who played in the country and traveled out are different from those that they are born abroad and brought up abroad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Shehu Abdullahi, Ahmed Musa, was Tyrone Ebuehi, you know, the what's the other centre back's name? The people that grew up in the country before traveling out, who have played in this type of pitch. The people who have
kind of pitch that was like
it doesn't matter. You cannot compare using Ejo Aribo
Go back.
A Kevin Akpoguna, people who have never played on that kind of pitch before. You can't. There's no way those kind of people would play well on that pitch.
But we're not about to blame the pitch for that. No, we're not about to blame
Sorry.
the pitch for that.
Yeah.
We're not about to blame
No,
the
I'm not
pitch
saying the
for the
pitch. I
result
said the
against
back room.
London.
I said the back room team.
So
No,
They
it's,
were
what's
it's
your
supposed
not.
to
It's
take?
sell
not the job
him.
of that. If
Okay,
CAF
Nyangina,
says the
what's
pitch is
your
good enough to
take?
play,
Okay, let's go.
if CAF
Bro,
says
What's
the
your
see,
take
pitch
on
is
this?
good enough to
bro.
play, then
Hold on. You guys see. You see that excuse that you said about pitch and stuff, right? Do you know some of these foreign players? So you know the players on those players abroad. There's this thing called Sunday League. I don't know if you guys know about it. Like, it's even more terrible than some of those pitches. So you don't have pitching an excuse. So you get, I mean, it can be an excuse to some extent. So you get, but those guys are professionals. At the end of the day, they are professionals. If we are being honest.
for a team that gave up 4 goals
Four
at home in the first half,
goals.
that
Bro, see,
pitch is not an excuse for
forget
them.
about that. Forget about that
It's
away.
not.
So when we get more 4 goals, 4 goals
I'm
against them.
telling you,
Yeah,
even
forget
if
about
we eat
that
of that,
away, about that pitch. Forget about that one. We're talking about that one. That's 0-0. Okay, fine. Okay, pitch excuse. Okay, fine. This can be an excuse to some extent, right? But that. But watching that, I was so freaking disgusted. I was like, how funny rubbish is this?
guys,
I think, guys, this Super Eagles team is something else entirely. I think we just have to like wait to see how everything pans out. For me, I still don't have confidence in all of those players. No confidence. Maybe it's time for them to just leave that national team and just resign. Just resign and go. Something has to be done in that team for me. It has to be done. ASAP. Something has to be done with immediate effect. It has to. That's what I give me joy. So I think that is the end of the show for today. So we're probably gonna see
all
on
right, it
the
was a good one. Very
on the.
diverse.
You want to see something like
No, I said it was a good one, a good show, very diverse. On national teams in Nigeria, we should do it more often.
Nigeria? I don't know what to say about that one. I already before let me make an announcement now. I have denounced myself as Nigeria. I denounce myself. Now
Is it that
I'm going to
bad?
Morocco. I'm going for Hakim Ziyech, please. No one should come in Nigeria. I've denounced myself already.
How bad?
Please. I have denounced myself. This country, I beg. I've denounced myself.
I understand.
I'm not born in Nigeria. I beg. I'm a Moroccan guy now. I'm a Moroccan now. I'm not Nigerian.
It's understandable.
I beg.
All right.
I'm denounce myself as a Nigerian. Total denounce entirely. I'm done out here. Nigeria now. Now I'm in Morocco. Anytime Morocco wants to play, you see me turning up for that match. I can enjoy matches, but not this.
Well, but even their commentary, you're not able to understand their commentary.
It's fine. It's fine.
You rough
Arabic, so I understand Arabic. So I'm okay with this. I understand Arabic. So I'm not going to speak Arabic. So I understand Arabic. So I don't support Morocco. I don't understand what Nigeria. I've denounced myself. I denounced myself.
He's a goal. That's the only thing you understand.
Good. As long as I can hear what they say and I can hear the pronunciation, I'm good. Now Nigeria, hell no. Nah. That country needs to totally rehaul together.
As well.
I'm done.
All
So
right.
guys, for people who turn up today, thank you guys for showing up, for coming up today.
Yeah.
So we're going to see on Saturday for the EPL matches. Oh my God, I beg, making and win. I trust you guys to win. I beg. I'm looking for an exciting match on Saturday though. So the Newcastle, the Spurs, and the Leicester City. I'll be surprised if United lose to West Bromwich Albion on Saturday. I'll just keep laughing. I will not stop laughing. So guys, probably gonna play Saturday match, also the Champions League too. For guys who forget, there's a Champions League coming up this week also too. So there's a lot of matches coming up this week. So
what are we playing next week?
Ren. We're playing Ren.
Oh, Ren.
We're playing Ren on Tuesday.
That will be at home, Abby. I'll be away.
No,
Stay
we
away.
are playing away to Rennes.
Away.
Yeah, we play early. We play, I think 5:30 or 6:30. I'm not sure. We play early. So which is better
Oh,
for us? Easy
mm.
qualification and just
Yeah.
travel back to London. So the
Yeah.
April and the Champions League. So we're gonna do some preview about it also. So guys, thank you for
Okay.
coming on. I really appreciate you guys for coming up. Thank you guys. Me and
All
Gerard,
right.
Jesus and everybody. Thank you
Sure.
guys. It's a
Uh,
really good one. Thank you guys.
Cheers. Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
safe.
yeah. Take care.
Yeah.
Peace
You
out,
too.
guys.
Yeah.
You too.
Mhm.